To the scene, there you are, of course, at Buckingham Palace today, perhaps not feeling your absolute best. And what we found out recently about our wonderful King, King Charles III, is that he's openly admitted he lost his sense of taste going through his recent treatment, of course, for his illness. Apparently that happens a lot. Do let me know if that is the case, because it must be strange, mustn't it? And I don't mean that rudely or in a negative way, but, if you have one of your favourite foods and you can't taste it, well, apparently His Majesty the King has said that's part of the reason why he's lost a few pounds, because he thought, well, if he can't taste it, why bother? Which I don't really agree with that, do you? Vanilla ice cream, you can always imagine the taste, can't you? Yes, you're with me, aren't you? You get it. Jam roly-poly and custard? Who cares if you can taste the jam? Just keep eating. That's my motto. But of course, we continue to wish His Majesty the King all the very best in his health as he battles along, and looking very fine and splendid, I must say. But then, as I say, you may be thinking, well, I'm not feeling 100% terrific, and you get presented with this. That's right. The first official portrait unveiled at Buckingham Palace today since, of course, the coronation of the King just over a year ago now. Now, truthfully, what do you think? Neil Sean here, nice to see you, and as ever, thank you so much for taking the time out to join me. I just don't know about you, I like official portraits to look like official portraits. Do you remember some of those weird and wacky ones that we had of our wonderful monarch? And I just liked her in a regal attire. I thought, in fact, some of the pictures that she was pictured with in Vanity Fair magazine, do you remember that? I thought she looked brilliant in that. But Her Majesty the Queen just kind of looked good in every day, didn't she? The colours, the vibrancies that she had. Maybe it's just all about having that wonderful sparkling personality. Who knows? She just had something magical, didn't she? Now, His Majesty the King, as I say, has now got a brand new official portrait, and it's, well, divided quite a lot of people. Majesty can be seen wearing the uniform of the Welsh Guards in this vibrant oil painting. The vivid design, which measures 8 foot by 15 inches and 6 foot by 15 inches, is by the artist Jonathan Yeo, who also painted Sir Tony Blair, Sir David Attenborough, amongst others. However, the diplomat, of course, His Majesty the King, we're not quite sure exactly what he thought about it, So I'm throwing it back to you, It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Do we ever really like the portraits that people are? It's a bit like pictures, isn't it? The Photoshop debacle. We all would like to erase things, make her look slimmer, whatever, There's always something you don't like. So it must be very difficult when you have a portrait done, because it's irreversible, isn't it? Once it's on canvas, that's exactly what the portrait artist has seen. Now, as we know, His Majesty the King is a little bit more, shall we say, tactful than his father, the late Duke of Edinburgh, His Royal Highness Prince Philip, who apparently, when presented with a portrait that he didn't like, said, "Well, who's that?" And they said, "Well, no, it's you, sir." And he said, "Looks nothing like me," and walked off. I just thought it was brilliant, because you kind of think that's really what you want, the honesty, isn't it? Now, we're not quite sure where this is going to be hung at this particular moment. Perhaps it will go in one of the many galleries. Who knows? But back to you. It's always good to get our friendship group, debating things. Do you like it or don't you? Or are you more like me? Do you like this traditional portrait that is now being gifted to be hung in various places up and down the United Kingdom and across the Commonwealth? And more importantly, let's have a bit of a vote. Which would you pick, mine or this new one? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.